With the release of the blockbuster movie Jurassic Park in 1993, the appearance of dinosaurs in film and television was set, along with all of the inaccuracies that went with it. Now, this was not all the fault of the filmmakers. After all, the first feathered dinosaur was not discovered until 1996, 3 years after Jurassic Park was released, and paleontologists continued to discover new species and new things about dinosaurs. With that in mind, here are 10 things you should know about dinosaurs. 1. Dinosaur is not just a name for any prehistoric reptile. Dogs, elephants and humans are all mammals, but we all belong to different mammal families and groups. Similarly, dinosaurs are prehistoric reptiles, but not all prehistoric reptiles are dinosaurs. There are some characteristics that are used to define a dinosaur. One of these is that on either side of a dinosaur's skull they have a hole behind their eye sockets, and they also have a hole in the skull between the eye sockets and the nostrils. Dinosaurs also had hips which allowed their legs to come straight down from their body, rather than out to the side like on other reptiles. All of the evidence suggests that all dinosaurs laid eggs. And also, dinosaurs lived exclusively on the land. There were no such things as flying dinosaurs like the pterosaur. These were flying reptiles and broke off from the dinosaur tree of life much further back, so they are actually dinosaur cousins, but not dinosaurs themselves. Similarly, there were no swimming dinosaurs. These were swimming reptiles that lived at the same time as dinosaurs. And the biggest difference between them is that the swimming reptiles had fins instead of legs that they used along with their tail to push themselves through the water. 2. T-Rex and Stegosaurus never met. Film, television and books like to put lots of different types of dinosaurs together, even though they didn't live at the same time. Dinosaurs lived during the Mesozoic era, which is split up into 3 time periods. From oldest to youngest, these are Triassic, Jurassic and Cretaceous periods, and combined they lasted for about 186 million years. By studying the rocks that dinosaur fossils are found in, paleontologists are able to work out the age of the fossil. The oldest known dinosaur to have been discovered so far arrived on Earth around 230 million years ago. Stegosaurus lived during the Jurassic period around 150 million years ago, and Tyrannosaurus rex did not appear on Earth until around 67 million years ago. That's right, Stegosaurus was extinct for around 80 million years before T-Rex even appeared on Earth. With 80 million years between Stegosaurus and T-Rex, and only 67 million years between T-Rex and humans, T-Rex actually lived closer in time to humans than it did to a Stegosaurus. 3. Dinosaurs conquered the Earth without planes or boats. We learn that there are 7 main areas of land called continents on the Earth, with the rest of the Earth being made up of water. These 7 continents, from largest to smallest, are Asia, Africa, North America, South America, Antarctica, Europe and Australia. Now, these 7 continents sit on top of part of Earth's crust called tectonic plates, and these tectonic plates move about on liquid molten rock that sits underneath them. This means the plates can pull apart, smash together and even rub and move past each other, so the land on Earth is constantly shifting a tiny little bit. When the dinosaurs first appeared on Earth, all this land was joined together in one supercontinent which is known as Pangaea. This meant the dinosaurs could easily spread anywhere across the land. As the tectonic plates shifted, this supercontinent was broken apart, eventually into the continents that we know today. You can see evidence of this by looking at the east coast of South America and the west coast of Africa, and these 2 parts look like they could easily join together like pieces in a jigsaw puzzle. Because this supercontinent broke apart, the dinosaurs ended up spread all across the Earth, and because they were living in different climate zones, dinosaurs evolved and adapted in different ways for their environment, and that is why we get such a broad range of species found all over the Earth. 4. Velociraptors were not as big as you think. Velociraptors are often shown in film and television as being nearly as tall as a human, and this traces its way back to Jurassic Park. When Michael Crichton was writing the novel Jurassic Park, he used the features of a dinosaur called Deinonychus, which is a cousin of Velociraptor. However, he used the name Velociraptor probably because it sounds more dynamic and more threatening. In reality, Velociraptors were actually about the size of a turkey with a very long tail. They also would not have been able to open doors because their claws faced in towards each other like your hands do when you're clapping, rather than facing down towards the ground like they would need to be able to do for them to open doors. Recent discoveries have also shown that Velociraptors had feathers, and it's thought that they might have used these as a colourful display like peacocks do in modern day. They might have used them to control their body temperature, or they might even have used these feathers to help them manoeuvre when they were running. 5. Discovering what dinosaurs ate is not always straightforward. One of the tricky things about studying an extinct animal is knowing how it behaved. So how do paleontologists work out what a dinosaur might have eaten? Well, the first thing they do is they look at the teeth and jaws of the dinosaur and try and find a modern comparison. Long, sharp serrated teeth like those of a T-Rex clearly belong to a carnivore, an animal which eats meat, whereas tall, thin, flat teeth such as those of a Diplodocus are clearly those of a herbivore, an animal which eats plants. Linking to this, paleontologists can look at the teeth marks found in bones and compare them to the teeth of dinosaurs also found in the area to figure out who the culprit was. Modern technology allows paleontologists to look at where muscles would have attached onto the jaws of dinosaurs, and from this they can work out what a dinosaur's bite force would have been. A T-Rex would have had a bite force of around 6.5 tons. That is almost 4 times stronger than a saltwater crocodile, which has the record for any living animal. T-Rex has a record for any animal to have ever lived on Earth with the strongest bite force, and this force would actually have allowed T-Rex to be able to crush and crunch up bones. Paleontologists also study coprolites, which is fossilised poo, and that has traces of what the dinosaurs have been eating. However, it is tricky to match the coprolite to the dinosaur that left it behind. Finally, there have been some fossils of dinosaurs discovered where their last meal is also found fossilised inside their stomach. There was a baryonyx fossil found recently in Britain, and in its stomach was the remains of an iguanodon-like creature as well as some fish scales, making this the world's first confirmed fish-eating dinosaur. 6. Dinosaurs likely attracted a mate the same way that birds do. Dinosaur mating behaviour is of particular interest to paleontologists. However, because it's behaviour, again it's another tricky one for them to work out. However, there have been some clues left behind that give an insight into dinosaur mating habits. Firstly, as I mentioned previously, the evidence suggests that all dinosaurs laid eggs. Thousands of dinosaur eggs have been found, and there have also been fossilised remains of dinosaurs found with fossilised eggs still inside the dinosaur. By looking at dinosaurs' modern relatives such as birds and crocodiles, paleontologists have inferred that dinosaurs likely had a cloaca. This is an opening between the legs that was used for reproduction, and they believe that dinosaurs used this the same way that their modern relatives do. There have been some interesting structures that have formed on the bodies of dinosaurs, such as the sails on Stegosaurus, to crests and bony frills. It's thought that these were used the same way that they are with modern animals, such as the antlers on deer, to identify the male or female of a species and use these as a display to attract a mate. Linking to using things as a display, since dinosaurs have been discovered with feathers, there have also been discoveries of pigment within these feathers. That means that the feathers had colour, and it's thought that the dinosaurs maybe used these as a display the same way that modern birds such as peacocks do, to show off bright colours when they are trying to attract a mate. Sticking with birds, there are some species of ground nesting birds where the males of the species come together on the ground and perform a dance, leaving scratch marks as they show off their nest making skills. Very similar tracks have been left made by dinosaurs, leading paleontologists to think that perhaps some species of dinosaurs also took place in a similar sort of dance. 7. Dinosaurs may have lived and moved in family or social groups. This is still sticking with behaviour, so again it is a tricky one for paleontologists to work out, but there is evidence which gives insight into this family or social behaviour. For example, if you're walking along a sandy beach and you look behind you, you will see the trace of your footprints in the sand. Dinosaurs also left footprints where they went, and some of these have been fossilised, and they are called trace fossils. By analysing the size, shape and structure of these fossilised footprints, as well as what layer of rock they've been found in, paleontologists can tell which dinosaur left them and whether they left their tracks at the same time as each other. From this, there is some evidence that sauropods, long-necked dinosaurs such as Diplodocus, lived and moved in family and social groups. There have also been fossilised remains of a range of ages of the same species of dinosaurs, all found to have died and been fossilised at the same time in some catastrophic event, suggesting that these dinosaurs also lived or moved in a family or social group. There have been fossil remains of dinosaurs found still sitting on their nests, and recently there was a fossil of an adult Erectodromeus along with some juveniles of the same species found within a burrow, which not only taught paleontologists that Erectodromeus lived within burrows, but also that they looked after their young for an extended period of time. 8. Dinosaurs died in the 5th mass extinction in Earth's history. Most people know that the dinosaurs died when an asteroid struck the Earth. This impact left behind the Chicxulub crater in Mexico, and it's thought the asteroid was about 6 to 10 miles wide. That is wider than Mount Everest is high. This impact and the chaos that it caused not only wiped out the dinosaurs, but also 75% of all life on Earth. Around 66 million years ago, when this asteroid struck the Earth moving at around 40,000 miles per hour, with a billion times more energy than a nuclear bomb, the dinosaurs and all living things in the area of the impact were instantly wiped out. This impact also caused tsunamis which wreaked havoc on the sea floor, created earthquakes which broke the land apart, and threw a huge amount of dust up into the sky, blocking out the sun. Because the plants needed the sunlight to grow, a lot of the plant life died off. Large herbivores which relied on the plants for food then had nothing to eat, so they died, and the carnivores which relied on the herbivores for food also died without food. The dinosaurs had ruled the Earth for 165 million years and were wiped out pretty much in an instant. But was this really the end of the dinosaurs? 9. Some dinosaurs evolved into birds. It seems strange calling a bird a dinosaur, but that's exactly what paleontologists do, referring to birds as avian dinosaurs and the dinosaurs I've been speaking about in this video as non-avian dinosaurs. In a quarry in Britain, the remains of the dinosaur Compsognathus were found, and then 2 years later, the remains of the first known bird Archaeopteryx were found. By comparing these two sets of fossil remains, the link between birds and dinosaurs became very clear. Archaeopteryx had feathers and wings just like a bird, but it also had a long bony tail and claws just like a dinosaur. Later, when Archaeopteryx fossils were compared to those of Deinonychus, there were a lot more similarities seen between the bodies of these two creatures, and therefore there is evidence that birds evolved from an ancestor of Velociraptor and Deinonychus and have gone on to dominate the Earth, with 10,000 species found in all climates all over the world. The tiny bee hummingbird is the smallest known dinosaur to have ever lived, whereas the largest currently living dinosaur is the ostrich. So remember, the next time you are looking at a bird, you're really looking at a real live dinosaur. 10. We will never discover all of the dinosaurs. All of the non-avian dinosaurs that will live have already lived and died on Earth, and this means that there is a certain number of dinosaurs that could be discovered. However, a dinosaur needs to die and have its body lie in a certain situation in order for it to become a fossil. I've done a video previously on the fossilisation process, so I'll put a link in the description for you to check that out. As a result of this, not all dinosaurs will have turned into fossils, but also there have been millions of years since dinosaurs did become fossils, and in that time a lot of fossils will have been destroyed by natural or man-made causes. That said, right now is a golden age for paleontology. Sometimes fossilised remains are discovered and they turn out to be the adult or infant of an already known dinosaur. However, right now paleontologists are discovering on average about a new dinosaur species every single week. That means about 50 new species every single year. In 200 years of paleontology, there have been 1,500 species of dinosaur discovered. Now, I'm sure most people could name you Stegosaurus or Velociraptor, but could they name you Yiki, Rhinorex or Thanatothoristes, 3 dinosaurs which have been discovered recently? There are 2 things that you should keep in your mind at the end of this video. One is that there is still a lot more to discover about dinosaurs. Even though paleontologists right now are finding lots of new species, there's still a lot of new species to be discovered and a lot more to be learned about dinosaur behaviour. So if you're a young budding paleontologist, don't be put off, there is still plenty for you to discover as you move forward in your journey. The other thing you should keep in your mind is even though the dinosaurs are extinct, the human love and desire to learn more about dinosaurs seems to show no sign of dying out anytime soon. Thank you for watching my first Things You Should Know video. If you like this video, please hit the like and subscribe button to stay up to date on all future content. The majority of the information for this video was drawn from the books 10 Things You Should Know About Dinosaurs by Dr. Dean Lomax and The Rise and Fall of the Dinosaurs by Professor Steve Brusatte. I've only been able to give you a tiny fraction of the amazing information contained within these two books for adults. And if you're a younger reader, you should check out The Age of Dinosaurs by Professor Steve Brusatte to get all of the great dinosaur information in child-friendly language. You can subscribe to the channel by pushing the button here, and I've added a link here to an interview I did with Professor Steve Brusatte where he talks about the life of being a paleontologist, advice for children and young people who are interested in becoming paleontologists, and also about his time as an advisor on the most recent Jurassic World film, Dominion. This has been STEM with Mr. N with 10 Things You Should Know About Dinosaurs.